Hey everybody, welcome back to Purpose Built. Today, back on the Porsche, we are ripping out the interior, fixing the little bits and recapping stuff I've done that I haven't shown. Let's get into it. Okay, so what I have been doing since I had a little bit of time off and haven't been filming as much is I've really cleaned the engine bay. So in the back of the engine bay there's like normally like a big rubber mat that clips on here and then runs down the back and it's all glued on, and it was annoying me, and so I think I got some footage of pulling it out. If it is, then I'll chuck it up now. And yeah, so I pulled it all out, and what I have done is gone in there with some like goo remover stuff and pulled all the goo off the back. So yeah, went in with some goo remover and ungooed it. So that was good, and it actually cleaned up really well. Found some like the original paint rather than, sorry about that, some original paint rather than the like the champagne colour that's been resprayed in. But I found two big nasty holes at the back. So those fellas. So yeah, those fellas. So it looks like someone's tried to fix the back of the engine and cut big holes to try and get into it. And so that was not so lovely to find, but it happens. I also have degreased the hell out of everything in here. It took me about 4 or 5 hours of just scrubbing and cleaning and degreasing, which was not a fun job in this heat. But I don't know how, but it's that oily that inside the shock tower is oil. Not just like shock oil or anything else like that, like motor oil. And oh my man, I don't even know how it gets in there. What the? But anyway, okay, on the engine, as you've seen in the last Porsche episode that I got it all the fuel lines and everything run. I've changed a few bits and pieces, like I've changed this hose and this one up here. I'm contemplating changing all the injector hoses, but I have to do some research to see if like the internal diameter has to be the same so it all works properly, but we'll find that out. And then over the back here I have terminated everything. So big power wire and then all the other little wires. And then these ones run down into, so you've got reverse, and then these two big ones run into the alternator. So I wanted to just keep them all together, so that way once all these are on and the big sexy gearbox is on, that it'll all like be able to disengage. So that way I can just unclip it from here, which is the engine to the body loom, and then drop the whole gearbox and engine, other than a few other odds and ends, rather than have to go around and unclip everything and have it all connected. So then what I have done in here is terminated it up the back here, so that way it's nice and out of the way. I have spare wires up the top here, and then I have my tail light wiring, which is pretty cool. I've never seen this before, but it like clips in there and does it all nicely and neatly. So that one's done, and then the other side, which is the main wiring, also sorry, to the CDI and bits and pieces, which still are going to live over here. I've changed a little bit, but we can see that in a second. But yeah, so I put like a normal style normal style relay in here instead of the round ones, which are expensive and hard to get, and then over to the tail light. So lots of bits and pieces which I've pulled out of the car, and some cool bits in these boxes. So I chopped up the original CDI holder. So this is a CDI, does all the spark and everything for the engine. So I've chopped it up so that'll run there. I've got 2 fuses that run in here, and the relay and stuff sit in here as well. So makes it a bit neater and a little bit less bulky. Other cool bits that I have are a brand new speedo, which we'll find out later, speedo trigger, and a few other bits and pieces. But yeah, so today's episode, we're getting into pulling out the interior. Man, gonna pull out the interior. So seats out, which I love the tartan, but I think I'm gonna have to get it retrimmed. And then I'm gonna pull out all this bits and pieces so I can get to the engine bay. So the plan was to patch up these holes and weld big plates, not big plates, but weld plates in them, so they're not there anymore. For now, I'm just going to run little covers over it and fix it up later when I actually have all the interior out of it and I can grind it all back and everything else without the windows in, so it all works properly. So for now, quick pulling out of the front seats and rear seats and see what we're working with. Oh, a lot more work than I thought. We have a pretty stripped out interior though. So there are the big ugly holes and everything else. And I swear whoever, like, I don't think the person who put the carpet kit in put over the hump, over the back in. It looked pretty factory and they just put it back on. But everything else, man, they must have just had gallons, litres, tons of contact adhesive and just plastered it everywhere because it just took ridiculous amounts. But also one other thing that I needed to fix was there was another chop someone had put in here, so you can kind of make it out where the two screws are. Someone's chopped in there to get to the top of the gearbox. So those two I'm gonna, oh, this one looks like it's been chewed out by a crocodile. This one's even worse. Sorry, this one's even worse. So yeah, all in all, not too bad. No rust, anything else, but I do need to fix this up and make some plates up for there. And then we can, I'm not sure just yet if I'm gonna dry ice the floor and pull up all the sound deadening. I need to do a little bit up the front where the pedal box sits. I haven't got a light, so I don't want to zoom in there. But there's a little bit of surface rust and stuff, and there's a bit of sound deadening on the top here that I want to take off. So all in all, pretty good, but today's going to be done and I'll be back in a second. after a little magic, we have a pretty clean rear area. So not too bad. I kept going on here, but I don't know, it's like a rubber backed, like not even rubber, like a sticky backed piece of sound deadening, and it just sticks to everything. So I've given up for now, and it can stay like that for a little bit. But everything else came up really good. So what I did use, I've still got bits more to vacuum up, but what I did use was this stuff. So just, I don't know, a friend told me about it a while ago and I gave it a go, and it works awesome. So it just, like, as you're seeing, just turns all the gooey, sorry, all the contact adhesive that's on here, just turns it all like powdery, and you can just like brush it off. It works really good. So up the back, I think it's just more heated because the engine's behind there and it's like going really hard. So I've scraped a bit of it off, but I'm really happy with that. It looks nice and clean, and that way I can make up some little patches. And one I didn't show you was this piece. So another hole that someone's cut in the back here, and that one I'll seal up for now as well, and then when I actually weld the other pieces up, I'll weld that up too. So a bit more vacuuming, but now we're going to jump in here and find where the clutch cable goes. And I think there's a little cool surprise in there. Oh yeah, so under the car. So as you can see, super nice. Nah, it's not super clean, but man, it was a dirty job. But anyway, up here, if I can use my light, see that little cap? That is where the clutch cable goes. And so from factory, if I can work this out, you can pull Of course not. I can't pull it off, but we'll pull it off. There's just a little cap there, and the cable goes in. So let's get the cable ready and slide it in. And also we're going to take this out. So going to pull the speedo out, and that way we can pull the cable out because the new gearbox runs electronic. So get rid of him too. Get rid of him too. So pull that off, pull this through, and put a clutch cable in. Okay, so here's the little cap. Oh. Yeah, look at that. Little factory, little piece blocks it up. So now I've got the new one. Look at that. It's already got grease. Here we go, day 2, back into it. Cleaned up the holes a little bit. So on the inside, I've just cleaned up, these edges were a bit folded over and stuff like that from when they cut it out, that one too. Cleaned up most of the bits and pieces. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to put, now thinking about it, I'm going to put a bit of carpet over the back there. So I'm not too worried about getting all of the glue and stuff off, but all the big chunks, it's mostly just staining and stuff into the paint. I think I can scrub it, it doesn't really move, so that's what I'm going with. And then, so I've pulled out all the interior controls in here, so handbrake and stuff like that. So I did a bit of tinkering after I stopped filming, and and I painted the handbrake, which also has all the heater stuff on it. So he's all cleaned up. A few other bits and pieces I've got. So I've got the heater box control, so it turns the heater on and off. Gaskets, new heater cable, which I need to add some little grommets for it, little connectors that go from the chassis to the boxes themselves, a few other little bits and odds and ends, starter motor, which will go on there, shifter rod, and so yeah, just cleaned everything up, ready to go. So hopefully we can get most of this back on the car today. So first up, time lapse on this fella. there we go, looking good. So all nice and cleaned up and re-put back together. Re-greased the bottom bits. The only piece I didn't put on was the hand throttle, so it just like, it's like a little bit of a choke, so you can like turn it on, so you can have the car rev a little bit when it's warming up. But I haven't got the circlip. It wasn't on there when I pulled it out, so I'll just have to find one of them. That's pretty easy. And next up, I got all the heater stuff. So heater cables that go from these two little pieces here. So it goes from there through the back of the car, up underneath, and up into here. And they're up on those, up into there, and then on those bits goes these bits. So it's just like a little on and off flap, on, off, and so to go from there to there, you have these little metal cables, and so they're like a sprung steely piece. Not too bad. Come with like a little wire piece on the end that you unwind it a little bit, thread it through and put it in. So I can, for now, I can't exactly fit it all up because what happens is the wires go through these little things which go on the end of here, but I haven't got the material that goes on here. So for the moment we're gonna run all the wires and everything else, but I can't really terminate them too much. Like I'll be able to tighten that down onto there and get it pretty nice, but it won't be perfect because I need to get the conduit that goes from here to the extractors or the exhaust. So for now, run a few pieces and then hopefully that can stay where it is for then, and then we can get on to hopefully pulling the engine off the engine stand and bolting it to the gearbox. Ooh. Okay, so here we are. So these two here are the little heater controls. They come up here with a little handbrakey thingy. So right now I have the two wires, because there's one for each side, and then two little grommets which go over the top of these things. So now I will do that. Or maybe they go at the back. That would make more sense. Like that, and they run this little grommet. It keeps them off from getting dirty. So that'll be like that, and he can stay up there for now. Same on the other side. Okay. I made these two plates up, so I'm gonna get some Sikaflex and fill those two holes up because I'm sick of it. There we go. So all sealed up. I just ran my finger around it, and then I'm pretty sure I explained it, but there's someone's put another hole in here as well. Really annoying, but yeah, I don't want to do them now because if I weld them up, I'm gonna have to grind them. I mean, I have to cover up all the glass and the roof and everything else. Whereas that can be good for now, and then when I decide what I'm gonna do with the body, paint it, whatever I'm gonna do, they can be cut out. Pulled off and welded in. So for now, I'm happy with that. And then I quickly got the engine down off the engine stand. I didn't film it because it was a bit sketchy and I don't want anyone to copy. So now take the yoke off, chuck the back tins on the here and get it all ready and hopefully make the gearbox up. So let's give it a go. Oh, really? yeah, so next episode we're going to chuck that in. A little bit of a teaser, but I just ran out of a bit of time today, so going to come in tomorrow, which hopefully I should be able to put this video up a little bit quicker than the last one. But tomorrow I'm putting the engine in. So stay tuned, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon. Cheers.